You check your bank account on a random Tuesday afternoon. Maybe you're sitting on your bed or waiting for your food to arrive or just killing time in line at the store. You open the app. You look at the number. And for a moment, you feel safe. There's money there. You aren't at zero. You aren't struggling to pay this month's rent. It's just sitting. And you breathe a little easier because in your mind, that number means one thing: I'm okay. But here's the strange part that no one talks about. Nothing is happening to that money. It's not growing. It's not moving. It's just there. Silent, still. And this is where it gets interesting. Because while you feel safe, something very quiet, very slow, and very real is actually going wrong. You just don't see it. Not today, not tomorrow, but over time, it starts to show. Most people never realize it until it's too late. They think they're being responsible, they think they're being careful and smart. But what they're really doing is making one of the most common financial mistakes in the world: keeping too much cash in a standard bank account. Now, don't get me wrong, having money saved is powerful. It takes discipline, it shows you have control over your life. But there's a line. And once you cross that line, that safe money starts working against you. My name is Nick, and I spend way too much time thinking about money. Not just how to make it, but how people unknowingly lose it without ever spending a single rupee. Today, we're going to talk about a mistake that feels safe, looks responsible, but quietly drains your future. Once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. Section 1, the illusion of safety. Let me ask you something. When you see money sitting in your bank account, what do you feel? Relief? Security? A sense of power? Most people do. We've been taught this idea since childhood. Save your money. Keep it safe. Don't take risks. And that advice isn't exactly wrong, but it is dangerously incomplete. Here is the weird truth. In the world of finance, safety and stagnation can look exactly the same. Imagine this. You have a glass of water, you place it on a kitchen table, you don't touch it, you don't spill a drop, you keep it safe. Now, come back and look at that glass after a week. What happened? Nothing dramatic. It didn't explode, it didn't disappear. But the water, it's not fresh anymore. It's stale, it's dusty. If you leave it long enough, it might even become harmful. Money works the exact same way. When it just sits in a basic account, it doesn't stay fresh. It slowly loses its value. But because you still see the same number on your screen, let's say it's 100,000, you think nothing has changed. That is the illusion. The danger isn't loud like a stock market crash, it's silent. And the longer your money sits still, the more you lose without ever realizing you're being robbed. Section 2, the invisible enemy, inflation. Let's talk about the thief that everyone hears about but rarely feels in the moment. Inflation. It sounds like a boring word from an economics textbook, right? But honestly, this is where your financial future either stays strong or starts to break down. Inflation is the silent thief of your hard work. It doesn't reach into your pocket and take your physical cash. Instead, it slowly shrinks what that cash can actually buy. Imagine today you have 100,000 rupees. You put it in a standard savings account. You are disciplined. You don't touch a single cent for 5 years. When you log back into your app 5 years later, the screen still says 100,000. It feels like you successfully protected your wealth. But here is the part the bank won't tell you. That 100,000 might now only buy what 70,000 used to buy 5 years ago. The number stayed the same, but the power of that number vanished. And you didn't do anything wrong. You didn't waste it on expensive clothes. You didn't lose it in a bad bet. You just kept it. And that's the problem. Your money was standing still while the rest of the world kept moving. Prices for milk went up. Rent went up. The cost of a new car went up. Life got more expensive, but your money stayed frozen in time. Most people think losing money only happens when you spend it badly. In reality, you can lose massive amounts of wealth by doing absolutely nothing. Section 3, money is like an employee. Think about it this way. Imagine you are a business owner and you hire an employee. You pay them a good salary, you give them a comfortable desk, a fast computer, and everything they need to be successful. And then they just sit there all day, every day. They don't do any work. They don't generate any sales. They don't help the company grow. They just exist. Would you keep that employee? Of course not. You'd fire them immediately because they are costing you money without providing any value. But here's the strange thing. This is exactly how most people treat their money. They work hard, they sweat, they sacrifice their time to earn a paycheck, and then they take that money and put it in a bank where it sleeps. Money is not supposed to sleep. It's not meant to hide. It's meant to be your hardest working employee. While you are sleeping, your money should be awake, working to find more money. While you're on vacation, your money should be out there growing. When your money does nothing, you aren't just standing still, you are falling behind. Because while your money is sleeping in a 0.05% interest account, other people's money is out there working, multiplying, and compounding. Section 4. The comfort trap. There is a psychological reason why we do this. Keeping money in the bank feels good. It feels responsible. When your friends are talking about being broke, you look at your balance and think, I'm doing better than most. I have a cushion. But comfort is dangerous. Comfort is the enemy of growth. Let's look at two people, person A and person B. Person A is a super saver. They save every penny and keep it all in a standard bank account. Person B saves the same amount, but they take the time to learn how to invest a portion of it, maybe in a high-yield account, index funds, or gold. In the first year, they look exactly the same. They have the same income and the same lifestyle. But give it 10 years. Person A still has their savings, but it buys less than it used to. Person B has growth. Their money has started to have babies. The gap between them doesn't show up in the first few months, which is why it's so easy to ignore. It shows up slowly and then it happens all at once. By the time person A realizes they are behind, the gap is so wide they can never catch up. Not because they were lazy, but because they were too comfortable with safety. Section 5. The fear behind the decision. Let's be honest for a second. Why do we keep too much cash? It's not because of math, it's because of fear. We are afraid of losing what we worked so hard to get. We are afraid of making a mistake. We are afraid of the stock market or things we don't understand. And that fear makes sense. No one wants to see their hard-earned money go down. But here is the paradox. In trying to avoid the risk of losing money, you create the guarantee of losing value. You are trading a maybe, the risk of an investment going down, for a definitely, the certainty that inflation will eat your cash. We think, at least my money is safe. But we have to ask, safe from what? Safe from growth? Safe from opportunity? Avoiding risk completely is the biggest risk of all because it guarantees you will never reach financial freedom. Section 6. The power of time. The most important factor in wealth isn't how much you make. It's time. Money grows through time, not overnight. If you invest a small amount regularly, it feels pointless at first. You check your progress after 3 months and you've only made a few hundred rupees. It's easy to quit and say, this isn't working. But then something magic happens. It's called compounding. Your money makes a little bit of interest, then that interest starts making its own interest. Suddenly you have an army of money employees working for you. Meanwhile, the money in the bank is still just sitting there, quiet and alone. Over 20 years, the difference between saving and investing is the difference between struggling in retirement and living with total freedom. Section 7. Finding the right balance. I am not saying you should have zero money in the bank. That would be reckless. You need a safety net. You need an emergency fund that covers 3 to 6 months of your life so you can sleep at night. But there is a massive difference between a safety net and a cage. A safety net protects you when you fall. A cage keeps you from moving forward. The goal is to find the balance. Keep enough cash to feel secure, but put the rest to work. Don't let your fear of the unknown stop you from building the life you deserve. Real financial stability doesn't come from a big number in a checking account. It comes from owning assets that grow while you live your life. Conclusion, a quiet realization. So the next time you open your bank app and look at that number, I want you to pause. Don't just feel relief, feel curiosity. Ask yourself, is this money working for me, or is it just sitting here getting stale? You don't need to become a financial expert overnight. You don't need to take crazy risks. You just need to understand this one idea. Money is energy. It is meant to move, to grow, and to evolve. If even one part of this video made you stop and rethink your habits, then you are already ahead of 90% of the population. Because awareness is where everything begins, and once you truly see the silent drain, you can never go back to ignoring it. Your money is either working for you or it's working for the bank. It's time to decide whose side you're on.